I messed up. Oh, I messed up. Oh no. Oh no. Um, I mean, it's fine. Um, Hi, welcome back to another episode of Vanilla Time. My name is Steph, and this is episode 24. I have a slight issue. I haven't died before. That was my first death. I was testing the dropper minigame after making some changes, and I messed up. I must have popped a totem on my way down and not noticed. I have the replay, which I think is still recording. Yep, let's just stop that right now. Um, so yeah, I guess I'm gonna show you the replay, and well, so much for calling this a pseudo hardcore series. Oh my god. Okay, hang on. Let me. There we go. Okay, now I gotta be very careful. Very, very careful because I don't have my boots on. Oh my gosh. Uh, yep. Just get down here. Funny part is I was actually trying to make this easier. And, well, that's embarrassing. I mean, I did buy like 5 shulker boxes of totems from SVT in order to help facilitate the testing of this thing. I really probably should have food on me and some more other thing. Oh my gosh. I'm so frazzled right now. I've gone the whole season without dying. And then this happens. Okay, I think we're safe now. We are safe. We are safe. Oh my gosh. And all my stuff's still here. Thank God. Well, let me, I guess, walk you through the changes that I've made since the last episode. So, I have been testing this thing, and I've made a couple of changes to make the drop up top a little bit easier, as well as to try and make the bottom a little bit easier. So, you can see there are now a couple of strategically placed, I would say, slime blocks down here. Now, I also got rid of this here so that this hole now has a way to pass through. I am considering putting something in the way here, like that you can pass through. Just have to think of something that would actually fit. Otherwise, I may just shave the edge off of this island a little bit, and it'll just be a little kind of lumpy shaped. But if you look over here, we've got a slime block here, and we've got a slime block down here. 2, in fact. And these are basically placed in such a way so that even if you miss the hole, you still have a really narrow shot of hitting one of these instead, and that bounces you up and gives you another attempt to get into the hole. And then once you get into the hole, come down here again. I keep landing on this ledge thinking I'm going to fall into this lava. I might turn this into glass. I don't know. I don't know if I want the lava to be part of the map or not, because falling into lava and losing all your stuff is not fun. But if we come down here a little bit, so I did open up the top of the hole, but I also shaved a bit down here a little bit. So you can see I did a little work here, and that's just to allow the water drip, or the water spot here, to be a little bit more visible from further up, because I've realized that there just wasn't enough time to get into the hole, I don't think. And then in addition, and I still can't hit the hole. So in addition, as you can see, I also flattened out the bedrock here a little bit. Yeah, so I cleared some bedrock using my little bedrock breaking kit. So I think I've shown this on a video before, but if not, basically there's a configuration, couple in fact, that you can do with some obsidian, some TNT, a trapdoor, a lever, which I usually have one in here, and a piston. And essentially you place in a certain way so that you place a piston, and like the piston head winds up pushing through the bedrock and destroying it when the TNT goes off. And you do that by like placing in like the block in like rapid succession. And I reset a keybind for my right click so that I can click really quickly. So we did that. So I got rid of like 2 or 3 pieces of bedrock, just to open up the space here a little bit that way. Because remember last episode, I was, if you watched it, you may remember that I had like a block here and a block here, and there was like something else here, and it was just really awkward. And like, because you basically were like hitting off of the edge, so this gives you just an extra vertical block of space to try and hit that bucket. Bucket, water. I am also seriously considering adding another water space. Maybe, I don't know, maybe like there, but that would require breaking more bedrock, and I'm not sure if I want to do that because it's really awkward. Like breaking this one, for example, means that I would need, I would need to break this one first, I think, with the setup that I use. I don't know. It's annoying. You kind of have to break the space around. So with that, I think I might do a little bit more testing. But that last attempt, I got all the way to the bottom. I think that's why I forgot about resetting the totem, because like it was a good run. I just missed the drop. So what are we gonna do this episode? Well, I think we are going to do a little bit, like I said, do a little bit more testing, finalize the bottom half. I think what I'd like to do, hang on, get my night vision one more time, at this point is add some features. So I want there to be like some like dioramas or something in the walls here. And because I've decided that like the hole itself, the drop here, is hard enough. The top half is actually really difficult. Hitting the water is really difficult. Adding more things in the way up here is not gonna do anything other than frustrate anybody trying to get down. I think it's hard enough as it is. The difficulty is hard enough that I literally died testing it, even with totems. So, you know, it's a challenge. But what we can do is see these openings here. We can add stuff in here, maybe like some scenes or something. I have to have a think about what I want to do, but once I've got something in mind, or maybe I'll just work on it off camera and bring you back in to show you some. We might do something with here, and then we'll probably glass off some of the areas. But for like stuff like this, like we've got this nice view here, right? So I may actually open this whole section up so that you actually see it when you're falling down. So that could be kind of fun. And yeah, just generally add a little bit of shape to the hole. So we'll do some more of that, and I'll bring you back when I got something to show you. But first, we're going to do something a little different. As you may have seen from the time lapse, I decided to add a police station. So we had the police dinosaur over here with the police guy arrested, our wonderful little Nitwick, and I wanted to add a building that kind of matches up with that. So I took some inspiration from the Flintstones police station, which I'll put a picture up right here. And as you can see, it's just like a squat little building with police written in blue. I know there was like a little like red bit that should probably go here, so maybe I'll add a detail there or something. But as we come in, I decided to just do my own thing with the inside here. So we've got a little intake desk here, and then off to the sides we got some like worker stations where like the detectives would work. And in the back we've got like a little jailhouse. So as you can see, I've got like a little bunk bed on each side. These are bars, so I gotta break them to get in. And we don't talk about what goes on in here. It's not fun in jail. You don't want to go in jail. Yeah. So I made it look as dreary as possible. We made it kind of moldy and dingy because it's kind of almost like a dungeon. Yeah, so that's done, and then with some details, I just added some pots and some torch flowers alongside here. Some little pots with what are these? The eye blossoms. And a cool thing that I learned about these is that they open and close even in the pots. So at nighttime, these eyes will actually open up, but during the daytime, they're kind of like dark and dreary, which kind of reflects, you know, a police station being not a place that you really want to go to. And then we've got just like, you know, like a small amethyst bud here, which I'm using as like a paperweight, and this could be like a rubber stamper kind of thing, and just like a book. And then in the lecterns, we've got a police report in each one. So we've got here, it says suspect accused of building redstone in a prehistoric setting. They may have been framed. Not saying it was me, but I may or may not have a lab somewhere on the premises. And then over here, we've got police report, where it's police report 5555. Suspect infected with zombie virus and has been contaminated to limit exposure to the non-infected. Release contingent upon successful rehabilitation. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a zombie villager in here. And then on this side, we've got suspect in custody awaiting transportation to jailhouse. Suspect accused of not accepting job offers. Suspect may be a nitwit. So that's just a little reference to the guy in the police box over there. So we're going to put a villager in one here, and we're going to put a zombie villager in the other one, and then we're going to stick another villager in each of these slots here, and then disable their AI so they don't run away. And what I've also done, as you probably saw from the time lapse, is underneath here we've got some berry bushes, and mobs won't naturally pathfind over the berry bushes on the carpet, so that'll keep the zombies from just wandering in if anything spawns nearby, which they shouldn't because we've lit the area up pretty well by now. But just in case one does spawn, it'll keep them from pathfinding into the building and infecting our police officers. Yeah, as far as the actual building itself, it's, you know, copying from that same design that we've done for the rest of the area. And I did go with a slightly more intentional block color or block choice in a couple places. So like we've got the polished diorite stairs with the calcite here, and that's kind of symmetrical all the way across. And then we're using polished diorite slabs for the entrance. We're sticking to the regular diorite in most places with just the iron bars instead of windows, just to give it that like kind of forbidding look. And then we're using torches as like sconces up at the top, just to keep with the whole prehistoric vibe. And then, of course, we've just got like a smattering of noise with the quartz slabs and polished diorite slabs in the ceiling. Now, it is a lot shorter than my other buildings, so if you come across, it kind of flattens out here. So I might still add, like I might build this up a little bit just to be a little bit more rounded like the other buildings. I'm not sure how high I want to go because I was intending on this being like the tallest part of the build. So maybe I'll just use some slabs for that. But as we can see, we've got the police across the top with our banners, and I found this design online. I think it was on like Planet Minecraft or something, and I just swapped some color around for the blue center so it matches with the lettering. But that is using a flower banner pattern along with some regular designs. So I just crafted that using an oxide daisy, so we now have an extra banner pattern to work with. So we come down here into our little loom setup. So we've got our guster and our flow banner patterns from the trial chambers, and now we've got the flower charge with it. I also went in and added this. So this is just a little infinite water source with a bucket, so I have easy access to refill the water cauldron, because if you didn't know, you can actually right-click a banner that's got dye on it, and it'll remove the last layer of dye. So when making mistakes, you can fix them without throwing out the whole banner, like I did with these at one point before realizing I could clean them. So that's all taken care of. I think I mentioned that in the last video, right? We're just gonna breeze by that. Did some decorating. I did, speaking of decorating, do a little bit of work on the bottom half of the dropper game. I recollected myself after my untimely demise. As you can see, I only have 37 levels now, which is very sad. But if we come down here, now you're not going to see most of this when you're doing the droppers. So I did a little bit of work and then I stopped because like there's a bit that I could do up here. I could open the area, but at the end of the day, because I designed it as a straight shot down, you're going to be looking straight down. It's a dropper game. You're not going to see all this stuff unless I really open it up. So I'm kind of having a hard time deciding how I want to do that. But as you can see here, I added a bit of a skeletal structure. Harding suggested to me that I should add a fossil, so that's what I did. I added a little bit of strip pale oak wood here, just to give it a little bit of a weathered look. I was debating on using diorite, which I did here a little bit, but for the most part, it's just a bone block with a little bit of strip pale oak wood for a little bit of noise. And I am using a little bit of diorite here, and you can see like there's a little bit of bone block sticking through on this side, along with some pale oak moss for a little bit of color discrepancy, like for some shadowing. And that's just to kind of, just to fit in. So I guess you've got a little bit of diorite, which is supposed to represent like the bone just kind of like eroding over time into the stone itself. But we come down a little bit further, and there was like a bit of a noodle cave that we cut through. So I just added a bit of green into here just so it's actually kind of noticeable. Come down a little bit more. I actually fell into the lava here while I was building at one point, so I decided, yep, that's it. We're just going to put glass in front of it and call it a day. I wish I had my connected textures on, which I don't currently right now, but yeah, so that means that you can still see the lava, but it's blocked off, so you're not going to fall in it if you are flying up or down, which I do a lot. So we've got another just patch of basic stuff, which I haven't done anything with. This area here, I love this cave so much, especially with night vision. I wonder what happens if I turn night vision off, actually. Ooh, that actually looks even cooler. But yeah, I like this cave. I did fully light it up. There might be a spot or two. You can see, yeah, it's pretty much lit up. You can kind of see it, so I've really opened this up. So if you are happening to look in that direction, then you can look out and see the whole cave. Because it's all lit up, there shouldn't be any mobs wandering in, but if they do, they're just going to fall and die, so it should be fine. And then, yeah, I chopped down, there was a big chunk of dripstone here that was basically like the whole wall. So I ripped that out. I added a little bit of pointed dripstone back in. Apparently, in order to get these to connect, you have to just let it grow naturally all the way down or all the way up, and then it'll connect on its own. It won't connect if you place them, which is weird. I don't know why they do it that way. And then moving down a little bit further, we've got, I think, another noodle cave that just comes in naturally. I did open this a little bit. And, oh geez. I decided to turn this into a bit of a stream here. So you've actually got 2 blocks to land on. And if you land like on the edge, it'll still let you land. I think that this is hard enough without a single block dropped landing. So this is my compromise. And you know what? It's fine. It makes this last little push much easier. But I think after all of the work of getting down to the bottom, I think that's fine. I still have not been able to make this all the way from top to bottom without stopping. Like, I've made it from top to bottom without dying and without popping a totem. But yeah, because of the slime blocks, you bounce and you can technically land in a spot, not die, and then just keep going. But that's also with my boots on. So I guess now that I've died, I could do a couple of attempts with just a bed at top and see how far I get. But we'll see. But I think I'm just going to chip away at the bottom build over time, just off camera. If I have anything significant to show you, I'll splice that in either later this episode or in a later episode. Probably going to be a later episode though. So I think we're just going to call that done for now. But there is one more thing that I want to do in this episode before I go, and that is an event that I'm doing later this evening. And it is Illusionist Naji on the server is one of our members who's built a I'm not sure what you want to call it, a Coliseum PvE minigame. I planned on doing this as kind of like my season finale if I hadn't died yet, but well, you saw what happened. So that's kind of out the window. I might still do it as the season finale because I think it'll be a lot of fun, but the event tonight is not that. It is in the Coliseum, but it's going to be a PvP event with other server members. Now, I'm really bad at PvP, so I don't think this is going to go well. I wasn't originally going to sign up, but after I lost my first life, I'm like, okay, well, doesn't matter if I die now. So I'm probably going to do very poorly. But we're going to time-lapse it. I don't think I'm going to get any audio out of it because there's other stuff going on in my house tonight, and so I'm not going to be able to have my audio clean. We'll see. We'll see if I can get some commentary in there, but it'll probably just be some post audio. So I did not wind up taking part in the event, unfortunately. Some real life stuff came up, and I was not able to jump on the server. However, instead, I decided to do some designing in creative, and I came up with a new cottage build. Unfortunately, because it does not fit the theme of this base, I reached out and spoke to one of the members of the Highdale community. So I got permission to build in one of the plot areas just outside of the Highdale city, and yeah, I'm going to start material collection now. Once I have everything I need, I'm going to bring you over to Highdale itself. We can check out the base, and then I can show you where we're going to build. So as you can see, I have collected all of my items, and yes, there are a lot of them. So what we're going to do next, so what we're going to do now is we're going to head over to Highdale, which is where we're going to be building this thing. And Highdale is in the West Wing, and it's a little bit of a journey, but they have been doing some pretty interesting work over there. They've got a city kind of development going, and I believe it's Mikey? I'm going to have to ask them for the correct pronunciation, but they're the base owner, and they've been basically inviting other players onto their land in order to help build up the development. And you can kind of build whatever you want within reason. I think it's right here. Yeah. They have a bit of like a city plan going on, so you just kind of got to approve with the property manager first before you build. So there's a Discord and everything that I got added to. And yeah, it's pretty cool what they've got going on here. So there's a kind of a mix of different styles and builds, but with a bit of an overall theme. So as we come in, we've got there's a big cathedral over here. We've got future site, Ashes Potion Shop. So yeah, you can see like there's places marked out for builds. Church Street. I think there's signage all over the place as well. They took me through the city when I first got here as we were looking for a spot. So you got stores, some pretty interesting build designs. So a little bit of everything in here. And so like this is kind of like, I guess, the main street, but what we're actually going to be doing, I'm going to actually just zoom back out. They've also got some sky blocks, I believe, that they did as a side project. That is beautiful. And there's even an airship. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of stuff going on here, and there's a big cherry grove here. But as you can see, if we come over here, there's a bit more, it kind of sprawls out into a bit more of a farm area. And I checked, and you can see I have set up my my bounding box for the build here. This is where we're going to be building it. So I've designed everything out in creative. I got bored over the weekend, and let's just plonk these all down. Alrighty, so I think that's everything. We're just gonna have to clear the area here a little bit, flatten it down, and then we can get started. So this is my cottage. It is quite big, and as I look at it, I'm realizing more and more that it is more of a modern cottage than a traditional one. It's almost got like a modern vibe on the inside, but it's still a little bit rustic. The kitchen is very modern, I will say that, but Yeah, so let's start with a quick outside look. We'll take you around the outside, and yeah. So I went with a dark oak for the framework, and the strip dark oak logs work really well for that. With the dark oak for the roof, and a pale oak log stripped for the siding. So this kind of gives a bit more of a modern kind of siding to it. I could have also used calcite, which has a similar texture, but I wanted to try and work with the pale oak and see if I can get something working. And that slight, just ever so slight pink texture to it kind of complements the dark oak, I find, and looks really good. And then for the garage door here, we've got the stripped spruce logs, and we're using a combination of spruce slabs throughout the build, as well as just a little bit of pops of color, like the crimson stairs for the couches here outside, or I guess the chair seating area, with a mangrove door on the front with the trapdoors on the side. So if we come around to the sides, you can see that all of the windows have these planters in them, and I've gone for a different type of flower with each one. I think this is the only planter that I'm actually changing the flowers up, even though they're both tulips. You can see we've got lilies of the valley up here. We've got poppies over there. There's, I think up there is the pink, whatever these are, the pink petals. We've got roses and so on and so forth. Some of these flowers are really hard to get a hold of, or not really hard, but like I didn't have any, so I had to go hunting for them because nobody sells them in the shop. So, and thankfully Harding was also able to help find a couple. But yeah, so we've got like little bits of greenery as well, kind of around the side. I haven't really done any terraforming or like organics around the area gardening yet, and the edge does kind of just leave it off into a cliff right now. I did spend some time after the time lapse closing out this side of the hill, so this is actually kind of closed off now. It's not super well terraformed, as you can see here. It's sort of just a patch job, so I might spend more time with that later. I think the builder over here, I think JXL, their name is a bunch of letters. I'm sorry if I butcher it, but yeah, anyway, they're another one of our regulars. And I think they were planning on doing something over in this end. Maybe not. I can't remember. But yeah, come around to this side. I've got a whole bunch of greenery because this side I found a little bit lacking in the detail. So we had the two windows up top, and then we had a little bit more greenery down the side. And then we've got kind of like an AC vent here. Come down the back. You might notice that I've got the tough brick walls in a couple of places. So this is supposed to represent the like the eaves trough, what is that called? The thing where the water sloughs off into, the rain catcher thing. I forget what it's called right now. It'll come back to me later. And then as you can see, I've got that spruce again. So in order to make the second floor just a little bit bigger than the first, so you can see it's kind of jutting out a little bit, and that kind of gives it a bit of almost like a mushroomy look, so that it starts here and then goes out, and then with the frame of the roof it goes out again. And then on the front and the back, you can see I've got these kind of like rounded windows, which I really like for the attic or the back staircase. And then we've got like a little overhang here, so you've got a little back patio deck. And I'm using birch just to distinguish the color from the oak stairs that I'm using for the table here. With just some little oak trapdoors as sidings for the couch. So it's a really, really tight fit, but it's kind of the idea for something this small, and it also gives you enough space here to walk in and out. Now, coming inside the house, that's our front entrance, and then we've got that back entrance that I just came into. We've got a dining room table set. It's a little bit of a high table, but I wanted these chairs here to kind of pop up top. And then we sink in a little bit just to get the potted red tulip in there. And that's because the table is actually on a slab height, so you wouldn't be able to put anything on here, which is why there's no plates or anything. So there's no dinner set, unfortunately. Now, throughout the build, I've got these here, which is supposed to represent just like lampshades. And then I use the end rods for the actual lighting. So if you can see, we're fully mob-proofed inside the house, and that is mostly because of these end rods and these overhanging, like hanging lights up here. the fluorescent lights. I forget what they're called. But yeah, so you got these kind of peppered around. I like the red glazed terracotta. Kind of gives that illusion that it's got like kind of like emanating from out of it. And then, as I mentioned, we've got like a modern kitchen, and then we come in here. We got some food in the pantry. There's a cutting board and some fish, and we've got the composter here to act like a trash bin. And we've got the fridge and a little ice box, and we got the sink. I was debating covering the front of the sink up like this, but I think this is fine the way it is. I do like the crafters here as kind of like cupboards, and you can use them as such if you want. It kind of looks like a almost like a cupboard with a stove top on it, and some buttons that you can maybe not press, and then some storage up top, which I've already put a little bit of food in. But yeah, so we've got the overhang lights, and then we've got some posters up throughout the build, mostly up in the second floor. Got our big screen TV with our couch, some nice carpets around the area, and then yeah, more of those lanterns. And then if we come out into the garage, we've got all of our job blocks. So again, using those cupboards again, and then just a bunch of different job blocks that we can use for crafting and whatnot if we want to, and some extra storage. And it looks like something's growing up here because we weren't up there in a while. And as you can see, we've also got the garage door automatic closer. It's just for decoration, but I like it. And then some hooks to hang some tools in. And then over here, we actually have a little functional automatic smelting station. It's nothing big. It's just a little tiny, put fuel in the back, put whatever you want to smelt in here, and you can automatically smelt it. Basically, it's like what we have in the Flintstones starter base back home. Now, I've also got this little trap door, so if you don't want to go up the stairs, there's a little extra way up. But we've got this wonderful centralized staircase that goes up and then creates this symmetrical kind of room with an entrance in each side. Now, so this is kind of supposed to represent, you remember those car mats, like as kids, if you grew up in the 80s or 90s, you might remember, I don't know if they still have them around today, but they look like a city layout that you drive your Hot Wheels all over. So that was supposed to kind of represent that. And then we got like a little crystal collection here. And everybody, I remember there was a time where like people would just collect dead coral. Or not collect it, but like you would take like a sea conch home or a piece of coral or something and kind of put it up as a display piece in your home. So that's kind of represent that. And then we've got some saplings in pots because like I think they're really neat. They look kind of like little bonsais. And then, just some extra decoration here and there. Looks like this one died. Oops. Then we got a little computer station because what house is complete without a computer setup? And then we go in here. So as you can see, so there's the two entrances here, right? So this goes into the kind of the loft area. So it's just kind of like an open area, and it's kind of like a open-ended hallway, and that leads up into the attic as well into the different rooms. So there's the kids' room, so you get the bunk beds, and you've got the other computer station. We've got some closet space. Kind of went for the wardrobe style instead of a walk-in closet. So it's kind of more the British design rather than the North American one, which is okay. And then I really like these. So this is, I think I may have done this at the Flintstones base in one of the buildings, but so this is kind of like a wardrobe for like a dresser. And what I've done here is I'm using invisible item frames and an oak slab, and that creates that little the little handle, and then you throw a sign on top of it, and there you go. You've got yourself a nice little cupboard. Some bookshelves, some more coral, and we've got some of my own map art as well as some of the ones from the Vanilla. Some more posters, and then we come into the master bedroom, and so this one looks a little bit nicer. You've got that little bit of a backboard. We've switched up the light style from the red to the white just to kind of indicate that this is in fact the master bedroom. It's a little bit different. And you just got a little bit extra light because there's no overhang in this room. And then we've got some candles just as decoration in the corner because everybody likes a little bit of scented candle even if they don't use them. We've got more of those cupboards, another wardrobe, and some additional shelving because I don't know about you, but in my house, my library is basically in my master bedroom. So I decided to replicate that here. And then if we go up the stairs, actually before we go up the stairs, there's one little thing. We've got a bathroom. So we've got a little bathroom and a standing shower, which is for decoration because you can't actually use it. I should probably put some water in the sink, but we've got some mirrors, bar of soap, and the tap, and looks like little cupboarding. I think it looks kind of cool. I think these actually look really good for bathroom cupboards. And then we come in here and there's just a little closet. So that'd be like a little linen closet. And then we come upstairs, we got some more carpet and one more of these lamps. And then we go into the attic, which is unfinished. I was thinking of like turning this into like a junk room or a rec room. I was talking with Mikey about this and we're trying to come up with ideas for what to put in here while we were gazing out over their really nice city skyline, which I think is really cool. You can kind of see I shouldn't break the windows. You can see their airship in the background, just the outline of their cathedral over here. I believe they said that they wanted to do a little bit of extra work on the area around here to give me a little bit better of a view. I think they're excited to have another member in Highdale building with them because well, it's getting pretty late in the season and there's not as many people on right now. I usually am playing at odd times, so you don't usually see a ton of other people online. But yeah, one other thing I do want to do is these are supposed to be exposed, I think. I wanted them to be a little bit less green so I can shave them off, but I don't have any... I was going to say earwax. I don't have honeycomb on me right now, so I'm going to wait until I can come back and do that. I'll do that with both of them when I have the time. But I believe that's pretty much it. So if we come back downstairs, yeah, that is pretty much the build. I think I missed this one. Yeah, there's just a little closet in the front. So there's some extra storage and whatnot to hold some things. And that's the build. So I think what I'm going to do next is I'm probably going to spend some time in between episodes maybe cleaning up, might do a little bit of terraforming. I know Mikey mentioned that they were going to do some pathing. They already kind of noted out the pathwork here where it's going to go. So it's going to follow this design here and kind of lead right up into this. I can't remember if they mentioned they might extend the driveway or they'll just lead it into the driveway, which would be great. And then once they're done with that, I'll probably spend some time doing some surrounding terraforming or gardening work with whatever unused areas there, clean up some spots like this, and figure out a way of closing out this gap. So it'll probably turn into a bit of a cliff face, almost like that. And then I'll figure out kind of how to connect it out. We'll probably have to close off this cave. Because, yeah, I threw some torches down, but obviously you can see there's a whole bunch of mobs still spawning. So that'll be a future thing, but I think that is going to do it for this episode. And if you liked what you saw, maybe consider subscribing if you haven't already. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Take care, and have a good one.